I would say we're live, but yeah, we're live. So today is a special episode. Casey and I, we don't talk about bourbon enough, even though it's called Whiskey Watches and Wheels. So we're going to do a special podcast, and it's going to be nothing but bourbon because Casey and I did the Bourbon Trail. What date was it?
I don't know.
June 28th.
The end of June?
Yeah, the end of June. So it was my 25-year anniversary, and my wife gracefully said, hey, I'll do this. Yeah, if you guys want to do it, let's do it. Called Casey. He has a good knowledge of bourbon. So we planned a trip. Ashley, his wife, planned everything for us. It was freaking awesome. She had Airbnb. She had all the tastings. I think we did 13 tastings or distilleries in 2 days and like one evening. So we were just absolutely killing it. So today we're going to talk about some of our tours that we did. And I gained a plethora of knowledge on bourbon. Just my palate, I think, and what I like, what I don't like. And then some of the experiences that we had. So we're going to share some pictures. If you guys are listening on Spotify, that's fine, because we're going to do a lot of talking about what we kind of went through. So I'll head it off with the highlight of the trip right at the beginning.
I got to jump right in. All right.
Got a ticket. Going, so we were going, it was a 15-hour drive for me. How long was it for you? 7 hours?
It's about seven and a half. Yeah.
So I think 15 hours or something, 12 hours, something like that. We were about half an hour apart, Casey and I. So we're communicating and he's like, step on it. I drive slow on the freeway because I was trying to see how much MPG I could get on my diesel. So I was pushing for like 34. So we got a half an hour, both got a half an hour to go. And I was like, forget, I'm going to go. So I was doing 90, went 90.
In Kentucky.
My wife goes, I said, is that a cop? Because there's a truck on the left-hand lane. She's like, no, there's trucks, I think, tan. I'm like, okay, just kept going. There's 3 cars right on my ass. And it was a Kentucky Highway Patrol, state trooper. And I was just kept on going because I'm like, you know what? I think they're going to go ahead and they're lazy. They're going to go ahead and go right and pick the one behind. Nope. He went and just pushed his way into me and got in between us. I pulled right over and I just said, Aaron, just license registration before he even. So he asked, you guys okay? And I said, yeah. I didn't even ask. I already knew. So he took my thing and said, hey, I appreciate you guys actually being pleasant about everything. Here's the ticket, blah, 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 blah. Surprisingly, it was a cheap ticket. I mean, $185 in Florida. That would have been, I think, $500 because it was 20.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, I should just pay this thing. But I haven't had a ticket in a very, very long time. So I was
let alone in a Cayenne diesel of all things, right?
Yes. I was going to just pay it, but I have a lot of vehicles and I said, you know what? I'm going to hire one of those like places, but man, it's gone up a lot since I've had a lot. That's how long it's been. I think it used to be like $200. Now it's like $500 plus court costs. And if they lower it, say by $10, you still have to pay the money. It's not like I read all the fine print. I was reading the fine print of the ticket, so I figured I might as well read the fine print of the thing. So I decided to actually just take the class, and it wasn't that bad. It was, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes. And they say once you take the class through Kentucky, the state attorney, I guess, dismisses the ticket. So it was the same. It was the same amount as the ticket.
Yeah, I would take the 0 points and the hour worth of computer work over a new ticket, and God knows how much on your insurance long term.
Especially for the cars that we have. So I just said the hell with it. So I completed it yesterday. I was sending a picture of my testing to Casey. So that was there. So first thing we did, we actually raced to
Castle and Key. That's right.
So you know a lot about the history. If we got some pictures, you can share it and then talk a little bit about it. Why I pour myself a bourbon.
All right. So Castle and Key is It's newer on the Bourbon Trail, and I'm trying to see if I have a picture of it as I'm looking through here because these aren't necessarily in order. Here it is. This is 8640. But Castle and Key is the old Taylor distillery, and it looks like a castle. Here it is. Super cool place. Like I said, it used to be Old Taylor, which has been shut down for God knows how long. Castle and Key came in not too long ago and kind of revamped it, reopened it. Pretty nice place, I thought. You can kind of look through the windows as you walk in and see the stills and the fermenting tanks, which is kind of cool. The fermentation tanks are kind of like wafting out the windows, so when you walk in, you get that nice like um, what do they call it? Brewer's yeast smell. But very pretty out there. I rode past this place as a younger boy when I lived in Kentucky. Rode past there on my motorcycle like many times, and that was when it was just all run down. But it was nice. They had a nice outdoor bar. You could see kind of where the limestone water, where they got their water, it would filter up from the ground, and they basically had a pool that was covered, but they had a nice pool, and it was in the shape of a kind of like an old style key, which is where they get Castle and Key. It's from the water holding tank. Pretty good bourbon. Gift shop was fine. We didn't do a tour there, so I'm not sure how that is. But overall, I thought the experience there was nice. Those were our first like drinks on the trip, which were much needed after our 7-hour drive in. You all drove up from Atlanta, so you're looking at about 8-hour drive in that day as well. But a good first start, Castle and Key.
Yeah, it was really cool. They had some rain before, so it was a little bit wet. I took a picture of the bathroom. Unfortunately, I don't have it to share because the toilets were like amazing and they were like brass valves. I thought that was pretty neat. Man, this bourbon's pretty needed to let it breathe a little bit. So yeah, we did that. We bought some bourbon there, like right off the rip. I think I bought. Do you know which bourbon you bought? Because I bought the same thing you did.
Yeah, I bought what did I buy? I bought their standard offering bourbon, which we opened that night. But then Ashley bought their gin and something else, which we have not opened, so I don't know how that is. But their regular offering of bourbon, I thought was pleasant. Like it was a good kind of like everyday drinker bourbon. I wish we had it here in Virginia so I could buy some more of it.
What ABV was that?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
It was under. It's not like it's kind of like one of those introductory bourbons. It's probably in the 90 proof ish area. But I thought it was good. Bottle's cool. The top is very cool because it replicates or shows the water holding tank, what the roof of that looks like. So that's cool. But I think the coolest, or most interesting feature of that place is obviously the castle type architecture. And it looks really neat, and it's totally out of place in Kentucky. And like I said, it's a good everyday drinking type of bourbon, I thought.
So that is a 103. Is the ABV on that?
Fooled me. Then it drinks better than that, or it drinks lower proof than that.
Yes, and I will say that we'll kind of get into a little bit more. We were hopping between so many distilleries, and I don't know if some of the distilleries have made a lot of these people change, but when you go into the distilleries, naturally, first thing I did is like, what do you have here that I can't get at my local ABC, right? And oftentimes they did not have anything. It was just the same stuff that they sold at MSRP, which later we found out, I think it was the next day. Yeah, the next day.
Kroger. Yeah.
Kroger. So, we went to Kroger and we said, hey, let's look at how much this stuff is. See if we're getting a deal.
At the distillery. Yeah.
At the distillery, we found that we were not getting a deal. So if you guys are going to do the Bourbon Trail, I would highly recommend that it's one thing I know for the experience and stuff, and we'll talk about some other bottles that we got. But if a distillery is offering you a bottle and you're going to do like Casey and I and bring back a shit ton of bourbon, it would behoove you to go to the local Kroger. And most of the time, we saw price savings of
Really, like
eight,
what, $4 to $10?
yeah, $4 to $8.
Yeah.
So the higher the bottle, the more savings.
Yeah.
So if it's $100 bottle, you're going to save $8 to $10. If it's a $50 bottle, I think some bottles were like $49 and they're $44. And we did buy a lot of other stuff. So people are saying, "Oh, you're supporting a lot." Well, believe me, Casey's wife was buying. Yeah, we were buying, trinkets and all kinds of stuff. So,
well, and I think if you're going for a couple of days, you can go check out whatever grocery store or liquor store. Total Wine is there, so as is Liquor Barn. You can go check out what they have, like plenty of, if you're going to go to those distilleries, and then maybe not buy it necessarily at the distillery. You like the Castle and Key stuff was everywhere. Several of the distillery stuff was available elsewhere. But if you're just coming
still supporting the distillery anyway.
Sure. You can just pick it up, save a few bucks. I don't know, maybe we would have saved a total of, I don't know, $50.
Well, maybe, I don't know, like
maybe more.
Yeah, 50 to $100. But that's an extra bottle.
That is an extra bottle.
Two extra bottles.
And if you have the time, right? Because that's part of it, is that when can you find the time when you're hopping around, you're drinking all day, you kind of want to go home and crash and not do one more trip out. So
yeah, if it's on the way, and for us, it was on the way. Like we found one, and especially for us, we were staying at Airbnb. So
right.
So the next one we went to was where, Casey? So we got up in the morning, 9 o'clock. Like, no, was the next day like actually Buffalo Trace? No, I don't think it was.
That was Saturday morning.
So it would have been Friday. So
Friday morning, yeah.
Friday we got up super early, and I think it was Angel's Envy. It was.
No. Angel's Envy was
not Angel's Envy. I'm sorry. Four Roses. We were the first tour group at Four Roses.
All right, Thursday, Friday. Hold on.
I'm looking
Four
at my
Roses, phone. 9 a.m. Four Roses, 9 a.m. There it is. Yep.
So we were there before, I think, pretty much
as the doors were opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
That distillery, super cool. I think that was the distillery that was more of the traditional with the mashes, the containers, because they were the wood containers. They were open. It was the style of the old California mission style. Spanish, which they said they tried to bring, the guys who made it tried to bring that style to Kentucky, which it did not take hold. I think they're the only ones that actually have that, but they did still have a lot of the old technology, I would say, which I think that was the only one that we went to out of all of them that still had the old technology with the wooden barrels and how they do things. And we were super hot. They were all hot, but that was pretty cool because we just walked in there and like dip our finger in the mash and
they're still using like Cypress fermenting tanks.
Yep.
Which is again very different. Off the top of my head, I can only think of a couple distilleries that are still using those Cypress tanks, which would be Four Roses, Woodford, and maybe Maker's Mark.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
But it's cool to see that. It's awesome that you get to go on the tour in those fermenting rooms, which of course are hotter than hell. Of course, the CO2 that's being given off by the fermenting tanks is hot, but then it's also Kentucky in the summer, so it's hot and humid. But you literally can walk by. The different tanks are in different stages of fermentation. So you can go to one that's basically not bubbling at all. Stick your finger in there, taste it, right? It just tastes corny, mashy. And then go over to one that's bubbling like rapidly and stick your finger in there and you get a whole bunch of like foam on your finger. It's like thick. And then you taste that. And while it still tastes corny and mashy, it's got an alcohol type flavor or palate hit, which is, again, as you said, it's very cool to be able to do that. It's old or historically, what is the right word? I can't think of the right word, but it's very cool to be able to see the open vats.
Nostalgic that you could go in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
those open vats and be able to stick your finger in there and taste the brewer's beer. I think it's really fun. It's good.
And I will tell you with, so that's our second one. On that particular one, gift shop's awesome. Good bar, a little overwhelmed. We went in the morning, but when you do the Bourbon Trail, I highly recommend you go to the person at the cashier and ask them. So this was our first one that we actually asked, do you have anything here that we can't get? And they said,
Yep.
yeah, we do. And they went in the back and they grabbed it and they said, we got these two.
You can buy one of each.
Yep.
That's all you get.
And it was one per. So if I wanted one, I could bring it up, or if my wife wanted to run. And in that case, Casey, they probably did that. But I just bought, I bought one and that's it. I could have bought four because my wife, but that was one that you could definitely, and I don't remember which one that was. I think it was the OSB. It has I didn't take a picture of it, but it has a label around, a leather label around the neck.
Yeah. Very good single barrel stuff. I opened one the other night. I don't know if you've opened one. And
No.
I can't remember which one I opened, but very, very good. But they, what we learned about Four Roses, which I didn't know this. I knew that Four Roses was different because of their yeast, right? They use multiple types of yeast. But again, I'm still learning, and my memory is dog shit anyway. But
and that is 118 proof, right? Because I think it's a OESO single barrel private select. The barrel tap 118.4 proof is the one that we got. They have two different ones, so I think it's just two different mash bills. That
well, that's what I'm saying. So they have 5 different yeasts that they use, and then 2 different mash bills. And so you can, or not you, Four Roses mix and matches their yeast to mash bill, and so they've got basically 10 different bourbon mash bills that they can produce. And then you get, 10 different offerings total. What they do with those afterwards, some are single barrel, some are aged for different lengths of time, this, that, and the other. But it was very cool learning about, like, hey, this yeast is super, or they consider to be sweet. This one's more spicy. This one's more floral. This one is, what were the other ones? I can't even remember.
Cinnamon, yes, and they had them try them, and then there was. The cool thing is on the bottles that we got, they actually show you, and they talk about the OSBS, what it stands for. Like, you would think F stands for floral, but it doesn't. It stands for, there's something else. But they talk about those. So we got one of each of those bottles. I particularly do like Four Roses yellow label, which is the cheap well stuff. That you kind of, if a bar has a couple of bourbons, I like that bourbon. They did not have that for sale.
You've always talked about that as your kind of like go-to when you're out, your go-to old-fashioned bourbon.
Yes. It's a good bourbon. I don't know the ABV on that, but they did not have that one for sale because I did ask for it. And I think that's just like bottom tier. Again, low alcohol content, so good for old fashions. Cool place.
And I think it's worth mentioning the kind of the history of Four Roses, where for several decades they were foreign market only, mainly in Asia, mainly Japan. Where it was
Japan owns them,
right? Because it's Suntory.
I think so. Yes, Suntory, or the starts with an A, the alcohol, the beer company. But you might be right.
Anyhow, anyway, they were when they were in America pre-prohibition. It was a good bourbon. During prohibition, it left the country. It didn't come back until the 90s, something like that. And it kind of came back as a basic bourbon, and now it's kind of risen its quality to where it's a sought after bourbon, especially some of these single barrel offerings. Anyhow, I thought the story is cool because it was foreign market only for such a period of time, but made in central Kentucky. I find that fascinating that any distillery or any company would create a product in America and not be available in America. But good bourbon. I think the experience was really good. It wasn't
rye either. We didn't taste it. Correct. This was the first one. There was no rye. It was straight bourbon. So you're going to taste All bourbons. I don't even know. Do they even make? They don't make a rye.
Not as far as I know, no. But their visitor center has changed over the last several years. Ashley and I were there back. This would have been 2014 ish, somewhere in there, and that we were in the old tasting room. That's now storage, they said, which is really kind of sad because it was a fantastic setting. It was really cool. But the new tasting room I thought was very nice. The experience, like when you compare it to like Bardstown or like Heaven Hill Experience Center, or their gift shop, it's totally at a different level. But then when you think of the kind of the popularities of their bourbons and their kind of market share, maybe it fits. But a very cool experience, and I would recommend going out there for sure.
Yeah. Did you have any other pictures of that one that you uploaded?
Just that barrel. Yeah.
So, and the Four Roses comes from, he tried to give his wife 4 roses to marry her. I believe that story.
Yeah. So the story was, would have been back in the early 1900s. He asked a girl on her date, and basically to marry him, and he said, no, he said, "Will you marry me?" And she goes, "I'll think about it. Let's go to the dance tonight," or whatever gathering they had. "And if I'm wearing a corsage of roses, then that's a yes." And so she ended up wearing a corsage of four roses. So
yes. And there's little things too. We listened to them, and it was pretty cool. So that was cool. So that's, we had 4 flights. Then we also had a couple drinks there, 9:00 in the morning.
We hit it strong.
Yeah, I mean, right off the rip. The next one was by far my favorite, and I think all of us agreed, and that would have been Bardstown. Nope.
Oh, Bardstown. All right.
Yes.
Very good.
When you guys go, I highly recommend that you definitely try this one out. If you go to any of them, I know everyone says Buffalo Trace, does not have, just the...
It's Napa Valley. Awesome. It's Napa Valley.
It's Napa Valley, but it's also Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
because the guy comes from, he started Earthlink. He tried to buy bourbon back in the 90s. They basically, gave him the finger. I think it was the 80s, late 80s.
Yep,
gave him the finger. He had sold Earthlink, so this would have been 90s, early 2000s. Sold Earthlink and said, "Hey, I'm going to build my own," which I could definitely appreciate that. So he did it, and the guy did it big, like award-winning restaurant where you have to make reservations for. The rick houses that they have there.
Here's a picture of it, right? They're beautiful and clean. It's unbelievable. It's very different than, as we'll show, the experiences from like Heaven Hill or some of the old historical distilleries.
I mean, you're walking in, when you do your bourbon tasting, you're walking in into almost like a corporate conference room, with the TV screens and stuff like that, and you overlooking everything in glass. The good thing is it's still a family-owned company. The gentleman our tour guide was saying that if you go there, it's $25,000 or $50,000, one of the two. After 5 years, you can buy, I think it's $25,000. You can buy a share into the company. I think that's Heaven Hill, actually. It might not be, but you could buy a share, and it's they're not releasing all these shares, but you have to be vested for 5 years. That in itself was awesome. He said it took him 5 years to.
Oh, and then if you work there for 6 years, you get your own barrel.
That's right.
You get your own barrel of bourbon. Yep.
Yeah. So they already put it on your name, but after 6 years, so when you work there, you get your own barrel after it's already matured. Again, just little things like that was pretty neat. The drinks by far were the best drinks that we had.
And what I thought very fascinating about there is their bar was not just Bardstown bourbons, and not just like who they contract distill for, because that's what they're really big at, right? Is contract distilling. But their bar was full of everything you could imagine. It was a fantastic bar. You can go in, get any drink you want, even non-bourbon drinks, which I think is important, especially for my wife. Although she had a bourbon slushy there, and she thought that was one of the best things she had.
And that was the same thing as Aaron had the same thing, right? I think.
Correct. Yep. But a
Uh,
beautiful place. It's so new. It's in Bardstown, obviously Bardstown Bourbon Company. So you're close to other distilleries, but that should certainly be one high on your list if you're coming into the areas to stop at BBC.
and I would say the cleanest out of all of them too. I mean, hands down. I wish. What bourbons did you get from there? Because you got.
I got a Frank August.
Yeah, so they make tons of different bourbon and all good quality stuff, like some of the high end stuff. Again, another one of those that you ask. So I did not ask for this one because I was too busy grabbing stuff off the shelf.
Yeah.
But the master distiller was out there and he was signing bottles. So
Yeah.
that's always nice to have. So I grabbed the two different bourbons that he actually signed. And they were small batch. I'm trying to reach Staple something, I think. And the other one was, I can't even read this, but I know that Ashley went and talked to somebody and she got something special.
She got two bottles that she pulled, got a picture with the guy, young guy,
Yep.
which I'm kind of surprised about. But he couldn't have been, he's my age or your age. I don't know
I think
what
he's younger. I mean, if he took his hat off, then we could tell. But he looked like he was in his 30s, not
Yeah.
40s yet.
For sure. I think she got something that was aged in tequila barrel, maybe. Anyhow, super cool place. They contract distill for a lot of bourbons that you would recognize. I showed it in the podcast last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, the picture of the Bardstown kind of contract area. But they do fantastic bourbon. If you haven't pulled something off the shelf of your ABC store from Bardstown, I highly recommend it. Their Discovery series is fantastic. They do Green River, so if you see that, that's a very like entry level price point bourbon made out of Paducah, Kentucky, but Bardstown owns them. Fantastic bourbon, and they're doing things in a very modern, efficient way, but it's extremely good. Extremely good bourbon.
So let me double back to that because part of my trip, we hung out, and then I went to go see some friends in West Virginia, and then I went to Ohio, give out a shout out to George. And George has quite the collection, just like you. So, I told him where we went and stuff. And he actually had one of, I would say, my top 10 bourbons, and it was a Bardstown bottled and bottled, whatever, 100 ABV. I think it's a 6 year actually, or no, I think it is a 6. I know
probably a 6.
Yeah, I know it's minimum 4, but
right.
I think it was a 6. Super. It's a black label, really hard to kind of find as well. Very, very smooth. I know it's only 100, but no ethanol right off the rip. Great tasting bourbon. I enjoyed it a lot. So that's definitely in my top 10. I did not crack open any other bottles that I got because they were autographed. So I try to keep those and like display them in my little bar. Highly recommend it. If you guys can get reservations to that, I would highly suggest doing that. Next one we went to was
here's your bourbon here. Oh,
yes,
that's
6 year.
Zoomed in too much. 6 year. This is the side of it. Black label.
Yeah, you can zoom in because if you zoom in, it will actually show you fall 2017. 6 year tells you. This is the cool thing too. They tell you the mash bill right off the rip. So a lot of companies sometimes kind of hide that. But they tell you what it is. Really, really good. I don't know if it's the particular year, but I enjoyed it immensely. Then we went to Heaven Hill.
What can you say about Heaven Hill? It's classic, right?
It is classic. My wife did not like this one. So our tour guide was cool.
She was a little much, wasn't she?
Yeah, towards the end, so we were trying to figure out, you're from Kentucky, if she was putting on the Kentucky drawl. Very nice girl, but it got to the point where she was just rambling on with stories and we just wanted to go in. But I did learn about Fitzgerald, and He's the one who was part of, and I'm kind of butchering this, but he was the one that was governed by um, the state to watch over the bond houses. Um,
Correct.
and he, started tasting a little bit and tasting, then it started tasting cup. Then it was this, and then it was that. Then it was, next thing you know, it's half barrels are missing, and
Right.
at Kentucky, this is how she told the story as it goes, people are like, give me some of this. Well, he got caught, and the judge owned that brick house. Is what she had said, and they were going to prosecute him. He was going to lose his job, but apparently the guy picked
Such good bourbon.
picks that he became one of the distillers or one of the
No, it was just
pickers.
those barrels became named after him because of his palate, but he didn't become a distiller.
Okay, so it was funny because they talked about that, and we went into one of the old rick houses, and their rick houses for doing tours. I must say, for one, we found a empty jug at the bottom, which she had just talked about, and I didn't know if maybe that was there on purpose, and maybe
Kind of
she
playing
didn't see
it up.
playing it
Yeah.
up. Chains missing, hanging down, very old rick house. I think that was one of the oldest, built in the 70s. She said.
Yeah, that one's or most of Heaven Hill stuff is very old. Yeah.
So that's also where the bourbon that I've been trying to get.
Bourbon you've been trying to get.
That I was trying to, not Jefferson, but the other one, Parker's.
Oh yes, Parker's Heritage.
Parker's. So they have, I guess, one of his bourbons barrels there that they still have bourbon in there. You can go in there and smell it and stuff like that. But not the cleanest. That one
It's
had a
not
lot
that
of
it's
history.
dirty, it's
No,
that
it's
it's
not.
old.
Yes.
And when you're looking at a rick house that's 50 years old, it's not like they come in and scrub this stuff, but you can see the black on the wood, and that is a specific type of mold that grows on the alcohol sugars.
Yep.
And so you actually these Heaven Hill doesn't have it, but you really see it at like Woodford, where all the trees around the distillery will have this black mold like on the trunks. Because it just emanates out, right, and kind of coats everything. But that's really what you're seeing. But very dusty, very I don't know, dank is the right word because it's kind of humid in these places, and it's got an air of bourbon, and it's just kind of floats in the air, and it kind of hits you. And mind you, it's 90 plus degrees outside. Inside, it's easily that as well, even on the lower levels. Let alone I showed that picture earlier of how tall the rick houses are. You're looking at seven times 3 barrels tall, so 21 barrels tall. But very cool.
Somebody just to open the windows. That's all they do is open and close the windows to let the air. And our particular day, I happened to bring the Florida heat with us because it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
We actually planned this trip so we could get away from the heat. But unfortunately, we brought it with us. So
brought it all with us.
It wasn't too bad for me. I mean, it was hot, but it wasn't like it was 89, 88, something like that. Once you get in there, I felt like I was at home. Cool place, a lot of history. I highly recommend if you do that one, you walk around because it talks about the owners, how they started. I don't know if you had a chance
brothers.
Yes, and I don't know if you had a chance to walk around there, but it was more like a museum where you could read all the placards and stuff like that. That was really the gift shop. Not so much. I don't think we actually bought anything there because they didn't have. That was the one that we got there we were the last tour, so nothing released, nothing special. Did you buy anything at Heaven Hill?
Oh, I'm sure we did.
No, I don't think we did. I actually don't think we actually bought anything there because it was kind of one of those like, let's see, I'll look at my pictures and maybe you did buy a barrel select or something like that, but I don't.
Yeah.
We did go into, yes, you did. You bought didn't you buy a Heaven Hill that you enjoyed?
Oh, that's right. Grain to glass rye. Because we don't have that here in Virginia. And I think that's a super cool concept. That some of the smaller distilleries have done, but the fact that Heaven Hill has done a grain to glass is very cool. I have the bourbon in the closet already, and thought that adding the rye next to it would be good. I haven't tried it yet. The bourbon is good. It's not anything fantastic, but I like the idea of it, and figured I could add to it. The one that we skipped here, though, is Willet over lunch. You remember going to Willet?
Yes. So we went there and we had reservations, but they had a kitchen water main break.
Because of the rain. Yep.
Yes. Yes.
But Willet's obviously super cool. Their grounds are very pretty. I've never done a tour there. I've only done a tasting and the gift shop. This is although Ashley and I was able to eat upstairs last time. We just had some heavy hors d'oeuvre type things like a cheese board or something. I don't know. But their gift shop's very cool. It's very pretty out there. I'd like to do a tour. But they were the place where, again, you had the thing where you just like go up and ask the checkout person, like, do you have anything special today? Lo and behold, they pull out purple tops.
So you got a purple top, and I was looking for one, but because I did not ask, I didn't get one. And I had been looking.
Yep.
And did Ashley ask for it? Did you ask?
Ashley did.
So me and him were so busy, like looking around and drinking. I think we were all drinking and stuff. And she just happened to ask, and she got a purple top. And that was we all know that Willet has a fancy bottle, but the juice isn't, in my opinion, is not the best. The bottle's phenomenal.
Have you had purple tops?
I have not, but I heard that's the one to get. And the green top too?
I don't know. I've never heard of a green top.
Okay. Maybe that's Michter's.
Yeah, for sure. Michter's is green. But the purple top was just the 4-year rye. I haven't opened it yet. But I'm excited to try it. They're, again, one of those, any purple tops, the family estate, blah, blah, blah. And I'm excited to try it. It would have been nice that if it was like a 10-year, 12-year purple top, but I'll take it because it was part of the experience and part of like learning, honestly, like how to do these tours or how to stop at the distillery. And just, that was for me, even though we done it at 9 a.m. at Four Roses, that was the distillery that kind of like triggered me that, all right, like you've got to just go ask, like, do you have anything allocated that you all are offering today? And obviously the earlier you're there, the better. But we were there at, our reservation was at 1:30. So we were there in the afternoon and they still had some available. And the reason that they said that they did it that way was to prevent people from lining up outside. Like they didn't want the Buffalo Trace thing, which we'll talk about, but the Buffalo Trace experience. They wanted people just to come in, have fun at the distillery, be a part of what they have to offer. And then if you're there and they happen to have something, then by all means purchase it.
And speaking of rye, because you did say the purple top, this is the one thing that I actually opened my palate. So we'll circle back a little bit to Bardstown, because when we did our tasting, and I have it saved here with my finger on it, original series rye, 95% rye, 5% malted barley. That was my favorite out of Bardstown that we had. And you were like, see, I told you, I knew I was going to make you into. And the next one and both of us agreed on this, was the Origin Series Wheated, which is 53 corn, 6-year, 39% wheat, and 8%. That one was super, super smooth. We both liked that one. But I think we had a kind of toss between that and the rye, and I was like, there's no way I could like this rye. And my wife hates bourbon.
All right.
And every one that she liked was rye.
That's right.
And at the end of the trip, we'll tell you what she said. So we'll circle back to Bardstown. I mean, some of the things that, Ingram, Father Time, Undisputed, Four Gates, the Frank August Chicken Cock, which, again, I did not know that they actually make that. 15 Stars, Heaven's Door, H.K. Young, Responder Bourbon, Four Branches, Road 94, Buzzard's Roost. I mean, Three Keys Distillery, which is funny because it's kind of playing back to the They also have Pursuit United,
Right.
which we'll talk about that. Hirsch, Five Trail, Blue Run, Boone's Bourbon, Paul Sutton, Stone Street, Rillivet. These were just what they make. Super cool to see all, and you could grab any one of those bottles. And they only had like 2 of them but then they had all their Bardstown. But that was neat to see all of those bottles there. We always think, I know you probably know, but for somebody like myself that I'm probably 4 or 5 on my bourbon knowledge, to see all these different bourbons out there. And Heaven Hill was the same way. Like they make so many different labels, which, I still have my own theory on another thing because, people doing bourbon picks, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And I love to hear some of your guys' take on that because I don't like bourbon picks, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, except for one that we actually did. So we went there, then we went to...
Well, then we go Saturday. Like we're on next day.
Yeah, so the next day, we stayed right across the street from Buffalo Trace. Like, I don't know.
10 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
So that was quite the experience.
I showed a picture of the line and stuff last week.
Yeah, so we were the first row. Looked like Disney.
It did look like Disney.
Gates opened at 8. We got there at like 7:30. They don't let you in until 9. They take your ID. They give you RFD bracelet. I mean, they scan it, and they let 20 people in at a time. They have what's called jail-free days that you can go and get a bottle because you're only allowed to have, a pick once every 6 months. So we go in, and you try not to like run, but some people are kind of running, and then some people are like, "I'm
especially
cool." You don't. If you don't know,
for us that we've never done this, been there first thing in the morning. You don't know how many they have, and
right.
We're sitting there first row, and I'm thinking, all right, if they've got, we saw on the board that they're releasing E.H. Taylor. We're thinking, or I'm thinking, like, is there a case of it? Is there 2 cases of it? Like, how allocated is this? Like, how limited is the selection? And let me tell you, it wasn't very limited. Like, if you were in line, you got whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, so they allow you to have, so I could get 1 bottle of every one of their picks. So you go in there, and it's like a grocery store. Like, I mean, they got
a cart for you.
A wheeling cart.
Yeah.
And so at that day, they had they had this. They had a Weller Special Reserve, $30 bottle. So we grabbed 2 of those.
Not special. Yeah.
Not special. But believe it or not, you know what I found out here in Florida? Weller has a contract. So, we're not a ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control state, but we do have a company called ABC. And the ABC is the only company that sells Weller. So you cannot buy Weller from any other liquor store other than an ABC liquor store. And I've also found it going down a rabbit hole from Reddit, which you would like, and I just started going onto it, that they don't even want to carry it anymore because they're tired of people coming in. They get their shipments on Tuesday saying, do you have this? Do you have that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of my favorites is 107, which I was hoping to get. But we got 2 of these. We got E.H. Taylor. Did we get small batch? Is that what we got?
Small batch, correct. Yep.
E.H. Taylor small batch. Sazerac Rye. They had that cream. You guys got 2 bottles of it.
Bourbon cream.
Bourbon cream.
Yeah. Really good stuff.
They had the celebrity bottle. Who makes that? Which we didn't pick up. It was
Travelers.
Okay, Travelers.
Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton. Do they have anything else?
Not anything special. They had all their normal stuff. Like they had a shitload of regular Buffalo Trace. They had the Travelers. They had Ashley got
They had their vodka there.
The Eddie's vodka.
No, the other one. The Buffalo Trace makes.
I thought it was called Eddie's.
It's not called Eddie's. It's called something else. I know you guys are probably listening to it and going, "It's called this," but they had that, and we were like, "Yeah, we don't want it." It was funny that you when we were talking to people on the distillery on the tours, the tour guides were talking to other people and they were like, "Oh, have you guys been to Buffalo Trace?" And a lot of the tour guides go there. And one of the girls that we had, I don't know when we had, but she was like, "Oh yeah, I just happened to get a E.H. Taylor." And we were like, "Oh man, maybe we'll get lucky," because she had just went a couple. It's Wheatley, by the way, Wheatley vodka.
There you go.
So we were like, "Oh, okay, maybe we'll see." And that's the cool thing. We were all seeing what we were gonna be able to get, and everybody was talking about it. Like, what are they gonna have? What are they gonna have? So there's the E.H. Taylor small batch, and then there's the other E.H. Taylor. Which one is that?
They
The
have single barrels.
single barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I was hoping for, but I'll take what we can get. $80 a bottle, I think it was. I think the secondary market they're going
65.
65. Okay.
Yep.
$65. And what are they going for? $150 on the secondary market. So
yeah.
That was pretty cool that we at least got something. Not again, I didn't really give two shits, to be honest with you. I was just there to like do the experience. It was neat. We did not do a tasting there because they have so many. We just wanted to go and like.
And we
They
had
also had a
plethora of other tastings on the day.
Yes. So right across the street, we went to Mattingly's,
Yeah.
which
Interesting.
very unique.
Interesting.
Very unique. I actually enjoyed it because it reminded me of something that I would probably do if I had, if I was just getting into the bourbon business.
Well, set the scene for them, right? Because you got Buffalo Trace across the street, which is an old, historic, beautiful distillery that's like decked out, got a beautiful, like, a gift shop and distillery, whatever. And then you drive across the street to go to J. Mattingly. It's behind like a shipping cargo. There's like a whole bunch of like semi-truck trailers out front. And you go in and it's like, it looks like an old porn store, basically. It's got black roof, like the windows are all like tinted in front. You walk in and you're thinking, I may be raped when we walk in here. I'm not real sure. And you walk in.
It's like a smoke shop, right? It looked like a smoke shop.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be a smoke shop.
Yeah. And you walk in and it's what you would think because you never heard of it before. And it's pretty dead inside, right?
Yes, it was dead, but that was probably my second or third out of all of them because the guy was personable and
very
he took
chatty.
us.
Yep.
Yes, took us around. This place was really cool. If you guys ever want to do a bourbon pick,
They're open for it.
Yes, they're definitely open for it. You can go as little as 12 bottles to do a bourbon pick because they're allowed to sell you 12 bottles. So if you guys know, if you do a bourbon pick, I've had a number of friends that have done those. You have to do them through someone who has a liquor license or a bar who owns a bar, depending on your state, or a distributor. Most people don't know distributors, so it's going to be a bar. It goes to the distributor and then to that bar, and you're buying 200 plus bottles for that. They will do 12. They're allowed to do 12 per person. So if you get a group of, 4 guys. That's usually what it is. 4 or 5 guys,
50,
maybe 6.
50 bottles.
Yeah, 50 bottles, right? Yeah. You can give them away. They aren't, from what I was told, they're not going to charge you any more because you're doing less because they have their barrels and you pick. Pretty neat. You can pick your wax color. You can do your labeling. You can design your own label. It's not just throw a sticker on a Buffalo Trace bottle, that says. Right. Right. Now, I do understand that a lot of people like that. I'm not that type of person. If I want something, I want to have my own label on it. Naturally, I have the privilege of owning my own graphic designers or have one that works for me, not own him, but have one that works for me. So I would want my own label. They take a lot of their bourbon sales and donate it to special charities. So that's one of the reasons
why military charities.
Yes. That's one of the reasons why you do not hear about them. The one that you see a lot of is the one that they sell, and they don't sell it statewide, is the J. Manley 1845 Classic Double Save Bourbon. It's a black label. All the other ones you have to buy at their gift shop. Right. Maybe I liked one of them. Maybe I did like the one that they sell.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest, their bourbon was not fantastic.
No,
I
except
think,
for the black double save was okay.
yeah, and they're contracting that out,
Hmm.
which is good because again the warehouse is leaves a lot to be desired. But I think the point of you saying like it was one of your maybe top three, two, three tour was that the tour guide really makes a big difference in these
Yes.
things, in how much how personable they are, how they answer questions, how they show you the different things. And we're talking this little place had a still that did what, 12 gallons?
Yeah,
Like it was a
it was a
a
jailhouse cooking pot.
a cooking kettle,
Mhm.
yeah, and that had been modified to turn into a still. And so it is important, or should be just noted that the tour guide on these things is very important. That they kind of will make or break your experience. And our guy was fine. He was chatty, and he showed us all the stuff, but just kind of how he talked about it made it much better than it would have been otherwise, for sure.
Yeah, and he actually took us. I think there was only what, four of us on the tour.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, he took us around, showed us all the soup and nuts things like that. You never know where someone is going to be in 15, 10 years. We could be looking at this, and in 20 years, we could be like, man, remember when we did that tour and it was back at that shop, and look at them
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you never know where they could get a, multimillionaire and says, hey, I like what you did. I want to, invest in you guys, and let's start doing so they are doing their own brew. They said that uh, who stores their barrels? I was at Heaven Hill, I think it was. Somebody was
I
storing
don't
their
remember that.
barrels, or
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace, one of the two. I would think it would be Buffalo Trace because they're right across the street. But someone is doing their barrels. They're mixing. They're making a barrel, two barrels, mixing it. Someone's storing it. What a lot of people don't realize is that bourbon's a very, very expensive business. I mean, you're mixed. The juice isn't expensive, I don't think, to make. I think it's the taxes that you have to pay per year on the barrels
And the
and
amount of
wait.
time it sits, right? Because
Yes.
you're paying taxes on it every year. It's
Yep.
sitting in a warehouse. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You need to make volume if it's going to be a product that you put out to sell. It costs a shitload of money. And that's, why it's so hard to start a new label that's not under one of these major brands, is that it's, as we're learning later, we'll talk about Pursuit,
Mhm.
but the capital investment just to make the liquid and store it for 4, 6, 8, 10 years is just astronomical.
Yeah, and the rule is, hey, for every year it's what, $10, right? ten
Roughly
dollars
40
roughly.
plus 10 years, yeah, or $10,
So
yeah.
and then just on top of the design of the bottle, the barrels, if you get a secondary barrel, it's the cost of that, the machinery, the payroll. It's a very, very expensive. I mean, I would say to go into a bourbon business, you would have to have excess of, I would say, to start out relatively small, somebody like them, $2 million, I would say.
At least,
Yeah.
at least,
Um,
yeah. And
so,
that's why contract distilling is so popular, necessarily so, because you can go buy, a fresh barrel of bourbon, right? Zero at age zero for what, $700 or something. You can
or you
buy,
could buy one at 4 years or 6 years and mix them and make your own.
absolutely, and good luck, because that's a hard thing to do. But they're talking, a 4 year bourbon that you purchase, say from MGP or Bardstown, is going to be $7,500 plus, and that's one barrel, and that produces what, 200 bottles of bourbon. So get your money back on that. On top of all the money it is to put it out, market it, get in with the distributors, and actually have someone go up with their card or cash and pay for that bottle. So it's super expensive.
And like you said, like, you're not a master distillery, right? So you're relying on the distillery to get something, because if you want something to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, you better have a pretty good. I mean, you're betting on this guy and his recipe, or this
Right.
company and their recipe, that for one, you're losing volume because, as we know, it evaporates. So you're losing what 10%, and it grows. 12%, 13%, 14%, and that's one of the reasons why the bourbon costs so much more on top of the tax, because you're getting less
product
bottles. Yep. So cool little experience. I liked it. It was pretty neat. I would. That was probably one of our most expensive bottles that we bought, believe it or not.
Yeah. But you're buying it to support them, right?
Yes. So, we bought it. Wasn't the best. It was good. It was high proof. I did like that. They had a lot of other ones that they didn't pick. So I can't judge them on that because somebody came in, picked a barrel, threw their label on it, and wanted it, say, for instance, we'll just throw this one. I'm not going to say the Vietnam one because that one's pretty good, but there was another one that was like not good at all. They didn't pick that barrel. They're a contract bottler.
Right.
Did not taste good at all, but they sell it. And what we found out is, everybody has a different palate. So what we like might not be what, Joe likes or Bob likes or James likes. So neat experience, worth a trip because, like I said, if you're there, you literally drive across the street and you hit another one. It was pretty neat. So was this about the time that I got the shits?
No, this is after the next stop.
Okay, so next stop.
Bullet.
Which we're just about because it's a funny story, yes. So we'll go to Bullet. Bullet, again, cool. Next, I think that one would be right there with Bardstown as far as high. Like, I actually asked Casey and was like, is this company owned by a California company? Because, they had their e-perb machines on the wall. They had everything, like, really state-of-the-art. And where they kind of got started was actually hitting San Francisco bars to the bartenders to promote their liquor and doing bar contests. Really super fancy. We did find out that straight from their mouth that their rye is not made as the MGB rye. They make their bourbon. Really neat, graffiti on the tour buses. Pretty cool place. Super clean. They allowed you to this was the one that we found out that they're mixing for the notes because they had all those syringes for the that you could taste or you could smell.
Yeah.
So they're mixing everything not based on the mash bill, but for the smell or the taste profile? The flavor profile, strictly for flavor profile. That's the tour bus.
Local artist does their artwork.
Yep. And really clean place. The grounds were like super clean. Nice gift shop. Awesome candles.
That's true. The candles were great.
Yes. Another one that, you can buy. Some people can't get this kind of stuff, but the best stuff that they had there was they had something that I asked them and they said, oh, this is like our employees pick. Okay, well, what's the age? Oh, we don't disclose that. Okay, well, it could be, so what? You guys just do a taste test and that's because you guys work there? Didn't buy that one. It's a little overpriced. We bought the 10-year bourbon. That's pretty readily available. But I know some places that's not available. So they had tons of that there. I'm not a big fan of their bourbon, but I do know if you go to any bar pretty much any bar, they're going to have Bullet. That's going to be they're going to have that and they're going to have, what's the Maker's Mark.
Absolutely.
And they're not ashamed to tell you, hey, we went and we made this and we did it mass marketing. We did contests. We were doing contests for the best mixologist in California, in Texas, in New York.
And Bullet, and to that point, Bullet was really the last brand that I know of, at least, that started in that manner, right? Like, they've been around since 89, 88, but they pushed from the bar level rather from a buyer consumer level. They pushed really hard on bartenders to create drinks special drinks in their bars to put out to consumers, and built it kind of maybe the reverse of what we would think. Whereas like Maker's Mark came out and they were expensive, or our bourbon tastes expensive because it is, right. Like they went from the marketing side, consumer side, whereas Bullet went from kind of the reverse side.
Which it's smart because they introduced, and they even said it. They're like, we introduced bourbon to people that normally wouldn't do bourbon. So, hey, you go. So, I mean, I've done it. I wouldn't say myself, but my wife is a proponent. We even talked about the slushies that you go, you drink a thing, you drink it, you look it up, you ask the bartender, what's the recipe? You go on a cruise, they give you something. You ask the bartender, what's the recipe? What did you use? That's how they became what they are. Good juice.
That's a great point in which we can stop this podcast for one moment because I've got to go to the bathroom. I'm going to die. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So he's taking a piss. I'm sure Matt's going to go ahead and edit this. I'm going to pour myself another drink. And let's see. So we will talk about, while he's tinkling over there, we're going to talk a little bit about some of our other stuff that we had. And we're going to touch base on some of the other things that I did personally with a good friend of ours, George. I visited him in Ohio. And he has another collection that is bar none to Casey's. I mean, it's really good. It introduced me some things that I probably would never have tried, and I'm glad I did. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and I think Casey will talk to us about some of my tastings that I did. And in fact, just recently this weekend, I went out and bought, I was at a bourbon bar, and they had some things, and I texted Casey and actually FaceTimed him and said, hey, I'm at this place. It's all MSRP. This is what I had to choose from. It's literally in downtown St. Pete. They have a speakeasy in the back. They do offer case 1 and case 2, but they did have, because it's such kind of where it's at, a lot of people don't know about it. You get a raffle ticket with every purchase, I think up $50 or more. And then you'll get, I mean, they had high-end stuff. They had Pappy. They had all kinds of stuff on the case. And every month, I think on the 11th, they do a drawing up to 11 people. And you get, first place gets the pick. So whatever, I'm sure whatever's the hardest to get, someone's going to pick. And then it goes from there. So he put me on a bourbon that was phenomenal, which we'll talk a little bit about towards the end of this podcast. But now that he's back, after you took a piss, what did we leave off at? Oh, so Jay Mattingly. Then Bullet. After Jay Mattingly, Bullet. Oh yes, Bullet. There you go. So went to Bullet. That was that the end of the day?
Nope, that was lunchtime.
Oh,
remember we went to
that's right.
After Bullet, we went into Shelbyville to the Creed Cafe, or right? Yeah. That was when we had the pizza lunch.
No, that was on Saturday. Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So we went into the one place, the Willet. We did not get, no, we went to the one place with Willet. We had pizza on Saturday because we're still on Friday. Yeah, because we went to.
No, Saturday we woke up, went to Buffalo Trace.
Okay. It just all blurred to me. So
Friday we went to that little cafe in Bardstown or whatever. That was Mammy's Kitchen and Bar. That was on Friday.
Okay. So we did go to another place on Thursday that had great reviews. Food was terrible. I'm not even going to name the place. And speaking of this,
it was bad.
If you guys think you're going to go to the Bourbon Trail and get cheap drinks, that's not the case. It ain't happening. We found that all of the drinks, they know who's coming. They were more expensive than me going to downtown St. Pete or downtown Orlando. Also, they are making old fashions I guess would be the traditional way, which is like 1940s with ice chips, maraschino cherries, and an orange slice. Every place we went to, that's my pet peeve.
Yeah.
We asked for it. I pushed it away. Casey drank it because she's the garbage disposal. My daughter, if she would have went, I would have listened to her ear fuck me the whole time about how shitty the old fashions were.
Yeah.
They were all, no matter what, 14,
super sweet,
15. Yes.
Super sweet, super orangey, watered down because of the crushed ice. It was just the old fashioned. I'm just so surprised because I think old fashioned can really let a bourbon sing, or a rye, which is what I like it with it. But it can really let that rye or that liquor, that bourbon, come out. And I don't think we had a good one at all.
That's what I just said. I don't want to hear. I'm tired of this shit. Like, and maybe like you say, hey, well, you guys should be drinking bourbon straight. We were drinking bourbon straight.
We did all day long. Yeah.
Yes. We wanted to have something sweet in our mouth because we were drinking bourbons. Then we would go back to, and then we'd drink another one at the restaurant, or not the restaurant, but the bar that they had. Then we may drink one not a fruit drink, but a mixed drink. Now, did you have at Bardstown? We didn't see. That's the thing.
I had an old fashioned there,
and
that one was actually good. Yeah, but that was like day one, so it was long forgotten.
Don't do like what I did, and I was over bourbon, and I was so disappointed. And we'll tell a story later. But I kept on ordering Jack and Diet because that's my drink. Like I drink that all the time, tons of it, and they look at you like, brother. This is not Tennessee. This is Kentucky. Get out. So you're not going to get that. You're not going to get a lot of clears. It's just bourbon, but
which is fantastic. But the point, you expect to have an old fashioned, and you that recipe is so simple. You kind of know what to expect. And what we got was not what we expected anywhere except Bardstown.
No, and I think because hey, we're there on vacation. We're thinking we're going to have the best old fashions or the best bourbon. And, hey, I'm not afraid to buy some good stuff at a restaurant, but.
Which we tried, right?
Yes, which we'll get to. So it was subpar. Save your money. Buy the drinks at the distillery. I would say if you're going to do something, hey, you can buy other stuff at this. Spend your money on a bottle of bourbon rather than drinking it at the restaurant because you're going to eat.
Yeah.
It got to the point that Casey and I were almost thinking about going to McDonald's.
Water. Yeah. Give me water and a Diet Coke.
Yes. And we're going to tell you about the next, I think. So we did that. We went to the Mama's restaurant. Again,
Mamie's, yeah.
Mamie's.
It was fine. Nothing special.
Okay, nothing special. After that, where did we go? Is that when we went to Bullet?
So after Bullet, we went to that Jephthah Creed distillery that was right off the interstate. That's where we ordered the pizza.
Great pizza. The best food that we actually had on our trip.
Maybe the pizza was pretty good. I don't know how well it sit with you, though.
No. So this has never happened to me. It's a funny story, and I'm going to tell everybody because I don't give a shit.
You gave some shits.
Yes. So never had this happen to me. I think from drinking bourbon at 9:00 in the morning, over and over for 2 days, I instantly just like, hey guys, you got to pull over. And Ashley was driving. Casey is a road warrior, so he's always on the road. He said, I got baby wipes. Give it to me. Okay. Pull off the road. I'm not fucking around. I have to shit. And I think Casey looked at me.
This was an emergency. I mean,
I'm sweating. Tell. Yes. I'm like, stop fucking around. I'm sweating. So he finds a place and he's like, all right, next exit. Get off, Ashley. She gets off. This guy, oops. Sorry, wrong exit. It's the next exit. And these are long exits too, by the way, in the country, in Kentucky country. And I'm already looking at trees because, once you know that, oh, okay, I'm going to go into the bathroom, your body's like telling you, you got to go to the bathroom.
I can make it just there.
Never in my life was I like looking at a tree. And I know some of you guys have had that. I'm known to have an iron stomach. Eat anything. Doesn't bother me. My wife's like, this guy can eat bad sushi and it's fine. I just happen to look and there's a portlet on the side of the road.
No, in the middle of the interstate.
In the middle of the road. In the median,
interstate. Under a bridge.
Yes, and I literally was like, pull over there. It is right there. I ran so fast out of that car. It was mud in between, and I had nice sneakers on. I didn't even get my sneakers dirty because I was running so fast. And I'm going to tell you guys, you can see the picture of it right now. There's traffic going on both ways. If that portalet would have been locked, I would have dropped trowel and
Right
shit
there.
right there and let cars. All I could hear was these guys with their window down, with their diesel engine going, and them talking because they have their window down like assholes, talking. I don't know what they're saying. And I felt like I needed, yes. I mean, you can see I'm sweating. I felt like I needed to be like Cool Hand Luke with a tennis ball or baseball against the thing because it was so damn bad. And I had never experienced that in my life. So that was kind of
a shitty moment.
Yes, the talk of our trip. So after that, felt great. Okay. I was, all right, let's rock and roll.
And from there, we headed to Pursuit.
Yes. So go to Pursuit. My favorite experience.
By far. Agreed.
Yes, by far. Casey, you know the guys just from a podcast, what we do. So kind of like we kind of aspire to be like them, but we're never going to be like them. But the guy made a special trip just to say hi to us, which was super cool. I'll let you set it up, and then I'll tell you my little points of my wife making everybody laugh.
I've listened to the Bourbon Pursuit podcast for a couple years now. Really enjoy it, learn a lot, and the guys are very normal. They're a couple Kentucky dudes that fell in love with bourbon years ago. They started doing barrel picks because of the podcast, and from that they've grown into a brand, Bourbon Pursuit or Pursuit Spirits. And they do a blended bourbon that's got Kentucky Bardstown bourbon, Finger Lakes Distillery bourbon, and then a quote undisclosed Tennessee bourbon. And Ryan Cecil is one half. Kenny Coleman's the other half, but Ryan is the blender. He, tastes all these things, came up with a blend, which is their flagship Pursuit bourbon, which is fantastic. But anyhow, I had reached out to Kenny via Facebook, actually, just been like, hey, Kenny, we had talked in the past a little bit about Porsche stuff. I'm not sure how I got onto that with him, but reach out to him. It's like, hey, dude, we're going to come by this day. We are going to be driving our cars. And so I know you're a Porsche fan. So, we'd love to meet you. If you want to come see the cars, I think it'd be really great. Would love to shake your hand. Well, then, Kevin's like, Casey, we're going to be drinking a shitload of bourbon. We might need to be responsible. And maybe we should drive the Cayennes just for safety, and we can all pile in together and it'll be fine. So that's what we ended up doing. I told Kenny this. I'm sure he was disappointed for us to show up in a Cayenne rather than a 911. But anyhow, he did make a trip down there. Super gracious with his time. It was just a few minutes, but just to be able to shake his hand, introduce him to, of course, Kevin and our wives, and be in their now old facility because they're moving into the new place. What is it called? Melwood is their old place. They're on Melwood. There used to be an old distillery there, Melwood Distillery, but that's where they're at, or where they're moving from. But anyhow, he came in to just shake our hand, talk to us. And just super kind with not only his time, but, just the experience. And then we did what they call the whole shebang tour, which was awesome. It really was the best, as Kevin said, experience of the trip. And Kevin, I'll let you elaborate more, but we were at a table of 20 people?
Yeah.
And we got, first off, they let us sample 10 different bourbons that they have.
Literally, so every place, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but every place is like, hey, this is what you're getting this much.
Very corporate.
They were like, yes, very corporate. They were like, hey,
thanks for coming.
We're all adults here.
Yeah,
sample what you want. It's up to you. Like, you got somebody driving? Yes, okay. here you go. So, pour whatever. Hot warehouse, probably 82 degrees.
It was warm. Yeah.
It was warm. They were moving. So they're going to be on Kentucky Row in a new facility.
Row in
Whiskey
Louisville.
Row, yeah, in Louisville. Sorry. And the guy gives a spiel. I thought he was drunk, honestly. I thought
what was his name? Josh?
I don't know, but I thought, man, this guy's been doing tastings. He's lit or high. But I mean, if you're in an 82-degree warehouse
all damn day,
all day long,
talking.
and it's the end of the day talking, he was over it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was also, too, like a stick that he had going on, too, because it totally changed once he gave his little spiel and we sat at the table. We sit at the table. I don't know how many. I think we 6.
No, we had four barrels behind us.
Yes, but how many did we try?
Oh, shit.
3 and 3. It was 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Three bourbons, 3 ryes.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, so 6. So, I always sit next to Casey because we're boyfriends, and the girls sit next to each other. Did they even sit next to us?
Who knows? I
don't know. But we're talking bourbon. We're talking to the guys. That experience felt, and I hope they don't change it, but if they do, hey, so be it. Our experience, there's 20 guys there. I think like 6 or 7 of them were they do it every year or every 2 years. They do a bourbon tour. There's 6 barrels there. They do a bourbon tour. So they're asking us, hey, where you guys from? Blah, 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 blah. We're talking to them. Not one other bourbon experience that you actually talk to the other participants. You're talking to nobody. You're talking to
group, your own people.
You're talking to your own people, or you're talking to the host. This was like you're in your buddy's best friend's garage.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, this guy's asking what we do, where blah, 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 blah. And I hear all this ruckus going on. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, they're laughing. These guys are laughing. So, we kind of break away like, what is going on? What's so funny over there? It's my wife chit-chatting with all of these guys. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And apparently she tells them, yeah, we're here on our 25-year anniversary. And they're like, wait a second. This is your 25-year? How does this even happen? Like, and she tells them, I don't even like bourbon. So they're like, who is this guy? Like, what is he like? What's he throwing down, basically? And she's like, I don't know. I mean, we've been married 25 years, but these are our friends. And Ashley and them are like cracking jokes. And me and Casey are just going, what the hell's going on over here? And we look, and I'm like, are you telling stories? And they're all look at us, and they're like, your guys' wives are the greatest. Oh, my God. And we're oblivious to this whole conversation because he and I are like this.
We're like trying to sample this shit.
What flavors do you taste? We're in our own little like tunnel. Like, oh yeah, I taste this. I taste this. We don't even know, and it's loud. They're being loud, and we're like, oh my goodness, these girls are like, they were the highlight,
the center of attention.
Yes, of the party over there because they were the only 2 girls. Yeah. There. And these guys are just like, I mean, very polite, congratulating us. And so we gotta, they're like, oh, this is so awesome. We break away, and all of us, I think everybody was there, got to do barrel pick. So Correct. You sample your 6 barrels. Yeah. They gave you the
thief.
Yep. The thief. There you go. They give you the thief, and you fill it up.
You fill it up right out of the thief. Right which there, is so cool.
Out of the barrel. So they're like, pick whatever you want. I was the only one that chose the 2 that I liked, and I mixed them. Mm-hmm. Don't know what it's going to taste like, but I had a hard choice of picking. So I mixed them, and I pretended I was my own little mixer. So blender. Yeah, there you go. You label it. They put it on the machine. You do everything yourself. You cork it. You sign it.
You sign the barrel, right?
Yep, you sign the barrel.
So it can be sent off to some beer company or scotch company.
No, I think they're going to put it in their facility.
I thought it was when they sell the barrel for secondary barreling somewhere. Either way, our names are on it for eternity.
Yes. So cool experience. Then, hey, you go, what else do you want? I did not feel rushed. I know we were the last group there. I think the experience was good just because it was the only one that we did. So I highly, highly recommend, even if it's not, we had such a good experience. I think they would still keep it like that because they're just bros. Like, we actually saw the other guy walking in when we were at Green River. Is Green River?
Mm-hmm,
just
correct.
walking the street, like, hey, how you doing? He recognized Casey. Salt of the earth people. It was really, really cool, and that was the experience that we talked about. Like, even driving home, oh, this was so neat that, like, you got to meet the other people because you and I, our wives, were very talkative people. We don't know any strangers. I thought that was just fun. That it wasn't a 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, next one's in a half an hour. Next one's in a half an hour.
And I do think that, as you're saying, really what made the experience. You're sitting there with 20 people. It's the only experience that I've had in the distillery tour thing where you're talking with the people around you while you're tasting, comparing, chatting. And of course you talk about that for 2 seconds. And then what do we started doing was, well, what do you do? Oh yeah, I'm into that too. I love that. Whatever. And that really made it fun. In a totally different experience than everything else, the 12 other distilleries that we did.
Yeah, definitely good. And I think too, they're smart about it because as you're having a good experience, you're buying more. Like, hey, I enjoy the experience. Give me one of these. Give me one of these. I got one of their first podcast barrels or something. Like, I grabbed another one. Grab this. Your wife had like so much stuff in her hand, and I was like, you got how to get. We're not buying all this stuff. I mean, remember, this is like 10 deep already. He's like, no. But we did buy more than probably at any other distillery just because it was fun. Good bourbon. I know you enjoy it. Again, that bourbon, I do need to crack that open, but I want to do it with you because, like, it was something that we did together.
Yep.
Very cool experience. And I highly recommend if you do it, hopefully you guys will get the same experience. But who's to say that you can't speak out to somebody? I just didn't feel that at any other distilleries. I felt that it was taste because also too, you're either so far apart from the other or you're like this.
Or you're on time. Yeah. And you don't get that chance to be like, let me go back and try number 2. Oh, now number 5. Like, because you had the 6 barrels and you're just tasting. And they would fill it up as much as you wanted. Like, you could sit there and they literally had spittoons for us, right? Because they're like, listen, guys, don't drink it all.
Yes.
Please taste and spit, else you're going to be fucking hammered. And of course, everybody was very adult about the whole thing, and we actually used it. We spit, and we're like, okay, great. I had a little sip, and then the ones that like, oh, this is good. By that time, I'm already like, I mean, the good thing is we had our wives with us. They were driving. I think by that time we were like, yeah, okay, it's just drive. My wife, again, she picked a ride. And at that point, she decided, I'm not a bourbon girl. I'm a rye girl. I like rye. Everyone that she picked, and even Ashley, I think, liked a lot of the ryes. So that's also something to be said that when you're with somebody that may influence you, may not influence you, like we didn't influence her, but maybe Aaron or Ashley were influencing each other. Maybe not. Maybe they just liked ryes. Because there were some tastings that I actually enjoy the rye more. Like, for instance, Bardstown. I enjoy the rye a lot better than some of their bourbons. And I told my daughter that, and she's like, you're getting disowned by me, Dad, because we don't drink rye. But you do now.
That's because we've had a lot of ryes that I just don't care for. So that was that one place. Did we go anywhere after? Oh, so then after that, we went to Green River.
We went downtown Louisville for we had some time, so we stopped at Michter's to see if anything was there, which nothing was really there.
No, I did get the Fort something bottle. Cool bottle. You put your label on it. So we did ours for a 25-year anniversary.
That's right.
They were very upfront with us. They said, hey, we're just letting you guys know this is the same juice. that
Mhm.
you could buy at whatchamacallit, but you're labeling it. We make your own label. So we did it, hey, while in Rome, we put 25-year anniversary. We did that. We went to Green River.
And that's where we saw Ryan
Yep.
Cecil.
Yep.
Again, he and his wife were just sitting there. They were there. The Pursuit Distillery on Whiskey Row is going to be right next door, and so they had to come downtown to check on the floors or something. And so again, extremely cordial, extremely nice, chatted, was very open, talkative. I didn't see anyone else come up to him while we were there. We were there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes just to crush a drink. But again, super nice. His wife was there, very nice as well. And then we went down to Angel's Envy for the last official tour.
Yes. Again, last tour of that day, which I did enjoy because I feel like if you get to do tours, if you do have a long time, I feel personally the last tour may be the best tour because it's the last one. They're either going to be tired and they're going to be like, hey, you guys, the last tour. I always felt the last tours were always the best for us.
Yeah.
So good tour, very hot. Again, very high end. They do all the distillery in right
this
there.
location. Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean,
18,
I've been to,
18 stills. Wasn't that what it was?
yeah,
This is a picture of it, but I think that's what it was.
I've been to Old Forester, which is a great distillery right there in Kentucky Row. Is that what you call it?
Whiskey Row.
There you go. They have a phenomenal. That's the original Old Forester distillery, but that is a tourist area. They have a rick house there that they're storing for barrel picks and stuff. That's where you're going to do your barrel pick is at that distillery. One would say maybe not the best one to do a distillery at or a barrel pick because the climate and stuff, but that's where they do theirs. Most of their stuff is off site. They're doing their stuff right there. All of their stuff there. Cool place. They had all their stuff there you can buy. They have a new, so if you guys don't know, they are known for putting all of their stuff in secondary barreling it. Either known for port barreling, which gives it that sweet taste to it.
Their two mains are the port, and then they have a rum barrel.
Yep. Now they just came out with a new one, a tequila barrel, which that was probably the most expensive one. The box is phenomenal. I think it was $3.99 or $2.99.
Yeah, very high end.
Expensive. I mean, the box looks like a Macallan box. I mean, it's freaking fancy. I did ask the tour guide. He did not have it to taste. I asked him his opinion. He said, "Oh, it's different." I kind of took that as a key of
I don't want that.
I don't want that. The one thing that I did not like with their tasting, while it was very good, he did give us a lot of history. Did teach us some things that I never have thought of. Told us to drink it, hold it in your mouth for 20 seconds or 10 seconds, open your palate up. Our palates were already dead by that time anyways. But they pair it with chocolates, local chocolates. I particularly do not like that because no matter what, it's going to get stuck in your teeth. I think that I understand they're doing it for the masses, right? Like you and I will you're a connoisseur, I'm semi there. I don't want to take a bite of chocolate, put it in my mouth, and then taste the bourbon because it's going to alter the taste. It's going to make it more sweet. I did notice the people that we were with, you could 100% tell were not bourbon people.
Right, and it made a huge influence on how they felt about the bourbon.
Again, marketing.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
So they had the apricot one. It was so damn sweet. I couldn't even finish it.
Yeah.
Great. They sell the chocolates there. Great gift shop.
Very pretty distillery. Very modernized. Very, very nice.
We got a book stamped on all of those. I will tell you guys, unfortunately, we're coming to the age they're doing away with the books. Me and my daughter, we got, I guess, one of the last books. We were just there in November. They're going all now to an app, which
sucks.
It sucks because there's something to be said about getting a stamp. I don't know, maybe because I'm coming up on 50, but you're 40.
We still want the stamp.
I mean, you had books from what,
2013 and 14.
Yeah. Yep. And it was cool because your books, you had like so-and-so coming soon. Like
Yeah,
I
we
think it
had
was
distilleries that we went to distilleries that were not around when we had the first books. We went to distilleries that were not around when we got the second book, and that's just really cool. That I mean,
yeah.
it's an evolving market, and the experience centers are still very new, and to not be able to kind of get that stamp, I think was kind of disappointing.
And when we opened up the book, we saw so many of the books or distilleries that we have never heard of, and we know of distilleries that aren't even in the book that are famous.
Yeah,
And we're like, wow, that's not even in the book. But
like
this one,
Buffalo
I've
Trace
never.
is not in the book.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, well, wow, okay. And I guess Buffalo Trace does have the kind of snooty attitude of we don't need to be in the book. Like
Yeah.
we're Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
I do circling back to that. I do think that they are like, hey, they know what they're doing. I think they're the ones that are contributing to the secondary market, the high prices.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So that was, I think, that was our last tour.
That was the last tour.
Yeah. So I told you this is going to be a long one. So if you got to eat, too bad, Casey, because I went to West Virginia. I just touched base a little bit. West Virginia. Never been there before. Definitely God's country. Probably the most prettiest place that I've ever been to. Second to probably Monterey. Totally two different spectrums. I am from Southern California. Went to Monterey for the first time after 40-something years, being from California, and it's definitely night and day. But going to West Virginia, where we went to, the roads were phenomenal. No traffic. Unfortunately, I wasn't a Touareg, but just so beautiful of a country. So, stay tuned. Maybe we'll have some things coming up for something that we can do there. But we did that for 4 days, went whitewater rafting on our little tour. But we did go visit a good friend of both of ours that's done where I met Casey was Trip Farron, and we went and I saw George. I said, hey, I'm going to be in town. I'm trying to look at my pictures here so I can talk about this a little bit educated. We went on, I went to the Greenbrier, by the way, which I don't know. Have you been? Went to the Greenbrier tour, did that whole thing about the hidden bunker. If you guys don't know about it, it was, for 30 years, there was it was a fallout shelter. It wasn't going to be
presidential fallout shelter. Yeah.
They have the whole room. Pretty neat to go. A little pricey. I think it was I want to say it was $50, $55 for a tour, 50, something like that.
Yeah.
Very old, kind of reminds me of Disney a little bit. Did that. I did some whitewater rafting with my wife, jumped off of a rock, almost died, fell backwards, got sunburn on my leg, did 4 hours or 3 hours of paddling all by myself. I tried to let my wife do it. We paddled in circles. Spotted a couple places for Casey, and then I met George. Immediately, he said, hey, welcome to my tour. So he has a lot of bourbon. This guy, again, salt of the earth, when we go out, it's like us three, right? Me, you, him, James, sometimes if he's not in his room. But this guy, such a cool guy. So I said, hey, I want to visit you. I mean, he lives in Dayton, Ohio. So he must be one hell of a guy for me to go to Dayton, Ohio, right? Because who the hell goes to Dayton, Ohio? But I did find out they have an Air Force museum there. That was phenomenal. So if you do get a chance to go to Dayton, Ohio, it's 4 hangars. And you probably need 4 days just to go through all of the hangars. It's free, by the way.
Oh, that's even better.
That's even better. So he has 3 kids, 2 twins, and then another kid. So we kind of went through it. But we went to his house, and I will say, again, the guy was like, hey, so I kind of want your view on some of these. So the first one that I drank was Larceny, 1870, and then a small batch, which was 92 proof. Then I drank a barrel proof. So
I love their barrel proof stuff.
yes, and that's why. So here's the deal. With me personally, I have a friend that's right next door to my building. He's been doing a lot of barrel picks, and I kind of talk shit to him all the time and say, look, man, this ain't 1980, 1990, where you used to be able to do a barrel pick where you would walk the rick house and say, I want that barrel.
Right.
They got smart because you could be picking where they pick Pappy from, or you could know somebody that has it inside. They go, hey, this is where the best shit is right here. Go to this rick house, this row, or you would have, then later on, it was like, okay, if you go to this rick house, then they started limited it to, if you go to this rick house, this is the row you want. If you go to this rick house, this is the row. So as it evolved, now it's based upon you're getting
here's four barrels that you have to
four
choose
barrels from that you're picking, and you're going to get a pick. Now, they may say, oh, we're picking it from here, we're picking it from there. As a marketing guy, and I've been doing this all my life, look, for me, I'm going to pick the easiest shit I can get to. I'm like, here's your shit. I do this all day long. Here you go. Like, here's your 4 picks. And I'm going to put on my smile and be like, yeah, these are the best ones I picked for. Look, I was telling George, man, it's all the same juice. Like, he was showing me some barrel picks. I'm like, it's all the same juice, man. So that became like a joke with us. Like, this shit's like, I do realize that you can typically get $10 to $15 for a barrel pick if you own a liquor store or if you own a bar, right? This is a barrel pick. And you're going on the hype, right? You're going on the hype that this guy picked a barrel. But is it any different? No, it's not. You're getting a sticker on it.
Well, the only caveat to that is that when you do a barrel pick, you're getting it out of one barrel, right? When you go and have Russell's 10, which is fantastic, right? That's still a blend of all their 10-year whiskey that meets the profile that's blended together. Whereas you can get a single barrel Russell's 10 and the profile can be slightly different, right? It can be slightly
So what's
off.
the closest to get? What is the closest? Like, I know they all use marketing, right? Small batch, which is the marketing, barrel proof. Can you get anything that would you get, if it says single barrel? Is that a single barrel on the label?
It's supposed to be, yes.
So that would be equivalent to a barrel.
Correct.
Again, I was telling George this, and he was laughing at me. He said, oh, same juice, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's the same juice, man. Like, you're paying all this money, and you're buying like 250 bottles. I mean, it's 10 grand, 12 grand for this. Yes, if I own a liquor store, it's great. My friend, he's giving this shit away, like to his clients. You know, hey, I picked this. If he gave me one, I would smile. Oh, thank you so much. And I'd be like, yeah, it's the same shit. Because that is just the person I am.
But you can get, like, I talked about this when I did the Buffalo Trace tastings. You weren't on. But I took the normal Buffalo Trace. I have a 6-year Buffalo Trace and 9-year Buffalo Trace. It's all the same juice, right? Just aged differently. But they're single barrel picks. They're all different, obviously, right? And the point of having these big labels is so that you get a consistent flavor profile every time. That's what they want to hook you on. That's why you love Jack and Coke, right? Because you know every time you pick up Jack, it's going to taste exactly the same. Well, bourbon people, you included now, you like some of that subtlety. You like those differences. And sometimes the only way to get that is to get a single barrel. Or you take what you love out of, Buffalo Trace. Maybe you pick up a huge vanilla flavor and you can get a single barrel that highlights that even more. Specifically, I have some Old Forester barrel picks. Some of them are aged at different years. Or my Elijah Craig barrel picks, they're aged at different years. Every single bottle is so different. Now, granted, the year difference makes a big difference, but the flavor profiles within those years can be very different. And that's what's
But you're also relying on whoever did the barrel pick.
Correct. Absolutely. You're relying on somebody's palate that chose that barrel, because I'm not buying a barrel.
Right. So so the barrel proof was good. It was 123, pretty high proof, very good. So he did have an Elmer T. Lee, which
major disappointment.
Yes. Well, here's the deal. This used to be bottom of the shelf stuff.
$30 bottles.
Why in the hell is this now unattainable.
It's because it's just not. Oh, got a storm coming. It's just not put out very much anymore, and
Yeah.
it's ridiculous because it's not that good.
No, it's a single barrel, so that would be one barrel, correct?
Yep,
For the listeners,
supposed to be. Yeah,
supposed to be. And this was a 90 proof, so supposed to be kind of light. We did not try that. Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit single barrel, phenomenal.
Yeah,
like really good. Elijah Craig, but the toasted barrel.
Mm-hmm. That's a
94 proof.
Yeah,
very good. Good beginner, I think. Again, another Basil Hayden. We talked about this. Yep. But it was a toasted barrel. Again,
I still think it's dog shit.
Yes. But back to the other one where Heaven Hill Green Label Old Style Bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cheap. I mean, this is what it looks like. Let's see. But I think this is only Kentucky only. I think you can only get that in Kentucky. Good. He had a Saint Laurent Spirit. I think it was out of New York. Pretty good. Yeah, it was. They won Distillery of the Year, 1999 out of Clayton, New York. Good bourbon. This is where I tried the bottled and bond, Bardstown. Again, phenomenal. If you can find it, definitely try to get it. Another one, which I get chills saying this because you're the one who showed me about this. Evan Williams, 12-year, 101 to red label. I don't know what this retails for, but phenomenal bottle. So, I mean, we tried some other ones. By that time, I was so tanked because, I mean, George is not pouring, half-ounce pours. He's pouring, 1 2 ounce pours. Plus, we were just at his house. I think we left getting, Pizza Hut pizza because it was the only thing that was open, just shoveling it down our throat, right? My wife fell on the stairs, and his white carpet, I must say. So, by the way, George, if you can't get that stain out, I mean, just let me know. But she fell on her ass, had a big bruise the next day. I was so embarrassed because, us being from Florida, we don't have that basement style thick plush carpet, right? With a thick, and we took our shoes off. It was like a nice white cream color, and we're just walking on the carpet like, oh man, this reminds me of grandma's. Well, not my grandmother, but Aaron's grandmother, carpet, right? It was just so plush. She bust her ass. We're drinking. He's like, try this. I had to stop, man. I can't try anymore. So after that, we did, which, we're going to talk about something else because I forgot on our trip, probably the most important part, but we,
this is the bourbon podcast.
Yeah. We went to a restaurant for dinner, I think on Saturday night. Nice little, but we did go to a bar, nice, super nice, dark, your eyes had a super dark bar. They had some good shit there. So me and George, I said, I'm going to pick something for you because we had a list and you're going to pick something for me. So I was like, hey, this guy showed me a good time. So we told the bartender, don't show the bottle, just get it. We both picked from the same, not even near there. They had to go to the good side. So I gave him Pappy Lot B.
Okay. 10-year.
Was it 10-year?
Yeah. I think
10 year. Okay, yeah, 10 year. Yeah, 10 year. And he got me Weller Black Label.
Full proof, 12-year.
Full proof, 12-year. And that was phenomenal. That Weller was phenomenal. He offered to give me, some of the Pappy, and I have never had Pappy, but I was like, no, that's yours. You savor it. He said it was good. So we did that. We had dinner, drove home. But before that, we'll circle back because the most important part of this whole trip was me proposing to my wife for the second time because I had never proposed to my wife. So I hear this not quite often, but when people go, oh, how did your husband propose to you? He didn't. But he said, here's the ring. So I got on one knee, proposed to her, gave her a new ring in front of this huge restaurant that tell us about the restaurant because you know it.
Watch Hill proper. It's a restaurant in Louisville. Biggest bourbon bar in the country is what they say. Jack Rose has a kind of a go at the largest bourbon choice as well. But really good food, I thought. It's a high class establishment. One of those things where they got lockers around the restaurant where you can store kind of as a club. But just anything that you could imagine within reason, right, Kevin? But almost anything you could imagine available on their shelves. It's just
2,500 bottles. They
more
say
bourbon you could shake a stick at.
no clears. Despite, I will tell you, you're going to see to the right of the bar, depending on where you're sitting at, one case with the brightest fucking light with a handle, not a bottle, but a handle of Tito's. So the first thing they tell you is, we have no clears. It's bourbon only, or whiskeys.
Yeah.
No clears. So my wife, like I hate to say it, most women don't listen and say, I'll have a Tito's. He said, we don't have any clears.
She's like, literally looks, you got it goes, right there.
It's right there. And like, oh, those are lockers. And he goes, I swear to God, everybody else has all these different things. They have tequilas in their lockers. But that one bottle, and it's just one handle, and it was the brightest lit out of all. And the guy's like, I swear they're fucking with me because everybody asks us, and they point right at that. So I have been looking and trying to find this Parker's double charred oaked bourbon that's unattainable, and they had it. So, hey, this was like the peak to, like, I'm sweating, yeah. I know what I'm going to do. We were going to get dressed up, but we were so tired. We were like, fuck this. Like, we just watched people that are going in with shorts. I mean, we all had clothes. We were going to change, and we see people going in shorts, and we're like,
we're going in.
Because it's in the middle of a neighborhood.
Sweaty and all.
Yeah. I mean, looking like this, we're like, the hell with this. So I had my ring in my little Zen container, went to the bathroom. But before we did that, I said, hey, I want this. The book's like this thick. So, I mean, it sucks because they're like, hey, what can we get you? And if you're a bourbon guy, you're going to look through all of the lists. And we're like, hey, step back, buddy. Like, yeah, we got to see what we got here. We got a couple minutes, okay? So I said, hey, I want this Parker's. So, I mean, it was $125 for a 1 ounce pour. I wanted to taste it. Guy comes back.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir. We don't have it. It's my fucking anniversary. Like, we don't have it. So I'm like, all right. So let me look on your list. Just give me Weller 107 Antique. Like, I mean, it was $9 a pour. They got to have that. I went from one end to the extreme to the other. Like, you can find Pappy at most places, right? Like, it's going to be a lot of money, but there's a lot of places that have. I mean, I go to St. Augustine. One bar has Pappy, 15, 25. I mean, it's going to be a lot of money, but no one, I mean, even when I asked you about it, and I've asked a lot of my friends about this Parker's, and everyone I've ever talked to has never even tried it before. Yeah. So I wanted to try it. So give me Weller 107. Comes back. Man, you're picking good stuff. You don't have that neither. I literally lost my shit, and I was like, you know what? Just give me a Jack and Diet, please. And the guy was like, no. I'm like, no, give me a Jack and Diet. So he brings him at Jack and Diet, and I swear to God, that was probably one of the best Jack and Diets because I'd been drinking bourbon for so much. It was just so sweet, and I was like, oh, this is so good. So the guy comes back, and he's like, hey, let me give you this. Here, this is this Bardstown, I don't know, 107 is the same as, I'm like, yeah, okay. I took one sip of it.
It was really good.
Was it? Okay, good, because I gave it to Casey. I was like, there you go, man. I can't even drink this shit. Give me another Jack and Diet, please. We had that. Super happy to have that experience with you. It was such a good time. You definitely opened my palate to Rise. Yeah. Again, if you guys do the tour, I mean, we did it. We crammed it in. And I will tell you this, plan it out, because what Ashley found out is most of the distilleries they release it 1 month at a time. At a time. So if you think you're gonna, I'm a planner. If you think you're gonna plan it 6 months, that ain't happening, Bubba. You're gonna have to, okay, I'm going here, and on the first is when they're doing it, you better click, because There was one time that Ashley she got Buffalo Trace, but it was only for one person.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, there's 4 of us. They, I think that one filled up in like 10 seconds, she said, or something like that. So
she was setting her calendar, a phone alarm, so that she could be prepared. Some of it was in the middle of the day. Like she literally had to tell the doc to be like, all right, somebody else has got to cover you. I've got to go set up these tours. So it is something that you can plan out, but definitely plan out your lunch, your dinner, where you're going to stay. But the tours, you're going to have to put it on the calendar to be like, all right, 6 weeks out, it's this distillery open up on this day, and see how you can build your schedule. And like you said, that's exactly what Ashley did. And fortunately, it worked out extremely well.
Because there was enough time between all of them, and I know she was cranking them out, but we did not feel rushed at all. And the good thing about Bourbon Trail is most of them are kind of by each other, but even the ones, if you know you're going to be in Louisville, Kentucky, you're going to hit Louisville, Kentucky, or Louisville. You're going to hit that. Right? Louisville. You're going to hit that area, and don't go back and forth all over the place.
Right.
Plan it out. There's quite a few that we still haven't hit. We'll probably do it next year, hit the ones that we haven't done. I've hit some with my daughter. Good time. So definitely I would like to hear kind of your guys' take. It was just me and Casey's. We talked about this. Hey, when are we going to do it? I actually, as you can see, the back behind me is definitely changed. I'm actually building a bar studio, like bar/studio in one of my buildings. Hopefully in like 3 months, probably 3 months. My guys work pretty fast. I'm going to have like a little podcast studio. So right now I'm in the media area, shoved in the corner, next to the
3D printers.
No, 3D printers are back in the air compressor over on the side here. You can't see it. So we're going to have that half shelf for what my venture that I got coming up. So we wanted to talk about bourbon because we do our podcast. We talk mainly about cars, like cars, what's in the news, 914s, us trying to push Matt to 914. So we wanted to have a long podcast to kind of share our experience and
And push people to go do it.
Yes, for sure. Fun time. Everybody was great. It's not one of those things that you feel like you're rushed. Like it's not super crowded either. Other than Buffalo Trace, I did not feel that I was like
crowded.
I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. No, we had time to do board games at the house, goof off. Good time. So
great time.
This is, I know, longest that we've ever done, almost 2 hours. But tomorrow we'll probably do another podcast. Maybe not. We'll see what Matt's doing. But again, thank you guys for watching. We got a lot of things coming up.
A lot of exciting
special guests. Yes, for sure. So, and this kind of spirited off. So, check back with us. Thank you guys for watching. Again, George, thank you for hosting me. Casey, Ashley, had a great experience. Like I said, that means a lot to me. So talk to you guys later. Like, share, subscribe. You know the whole shit. And talk to you guys later. All right. See you guys.